Okay, when I left off, I was in Kern's Tower, and over the next few levels, we got to probably about 16, 17. I believe it was 17. And Kern's had started to green out and light blue out, so we decided to relocate. And right around that time, the hot zone list was rotated, and Pollutal Caverns became one of the highest Zim zones available. So we relocated to Pollutal Caverns. And I got to level 22 and I got some nice upgrades. The biggest surprise, and I didn't even know it was coming, I hadn't checked, but I got Drowsy, which is the first slow spell that Shaman get. And it doesn't do a very high percentage of slow, but it's cheap to cast, and any slow is good, even if it's only like 15-20%. I'm not sure what it is, but I was like, well, that's really cool. And I got my new pet, which is Spirit of Keshuval. He does more damage, he has more hit points, and in general, I would say it's definitely, again, a more tank oriented pet. And if you if you're watching this video, you can see that he can tank several blue or low blue, teal blue. I'm not sure what you call it, but he can tank several mobs at once and have no problem. And another spell I got was an upgrade to his proc buff, which is Spirit of Blizzard, which, as you can imagine, is a cold based proc. And it does 72 points as an upgrade to the 62 point proc that I got at level 15. So it's not as big of a jump in power, but every little bit helps, and I'll take it. Another spell I got was Light Healing. Now, Light Healing is a major upgrade over Minor Healing. Still not as good as Healing. You're still not going to feel like a cleric, but it definitely does help when it comes to downtime. You definitely don't want to use it on your pet. Your pet heal is outstanding, and it's better than even any cleric heal at this level. So you really just want to use it on yourself. If you get a little beat up, or if you're in a group and you want to kind of top off the tank, maybe if you've got a Necro or Shaman cannibalizing for mana, kind of buff up their hit points a little bit. And something I didn't mention in my P2002 kind of intro video comparing it to P99 is that you don't have to outdamage your pet. On P99, the rule was, which was, in my opinion, a bit antiquated and short sighted, but it was based off of the development decision made way back when. But basically, you have to outdamage your pet. If you don't, if your pet does over half of the damage, then your pet is going to take half of the experience. And I have a feeling that entire mechanic was removed from the game when Beastlords were added in, because you're going to have to be pretty tweaked to get into melee range and outdamage your pet. Maybe if you chain casted your nuke spell, but it'd be a little silly to do that because it only does 20 damage versus 20 mana. So it has a terrible ratio, and I think it was the right move to make it to where pets wouldn't steal experience from you. So all you have to do is 1 point of damage, get full experience. Okay, so I'm in Pollutal Caverns. Part of the reason why I'm in Pollutal Caverns is on this server they have hot zones. Now, hot zones were put in as a way to get players to kind of funnel into certain zones. What it was it was on a rotation, like every, I don't know if it was every patch, but every few weeks, maybe even every couple months. I can't remember what it was. The developers would turn up the Zim really high in certain zones, and then in the patch message they would make sure to let everybody know, okay, Pollutal Caverns has a big XP bonus, Mistmore Castle has a big XP bonus, and it just goes on down. And it really was a pretty shrewd development move, in my opinion, because it encouraged people to, for one, try different zones, and then when they went to those zones, they were more likely to encounter other players to group with because of the high zone experience modifier. It just drew people in. So Now, Pollutal Caverns was a very popular zone leveling up. When Luclin launched and people started figuring stuff out, a lot of people went to Pollutal Caverns for their, I think probably low teens all the way up to around 24, 25, because the zone itself just naturally had a high zone experience modifier. But right now, because it's a hot zone, it definitely makes sense to hunt here on P2002. So we grouped here, and yeah, I was getting levels fast. I think I was getting a level in under an hour. So I was leveling up pretty quick. One feature about Project 2002 that I did not mention in my comparison video to P99, I can't believe I didn't remember it, but P2002 has shared bank accounts. So you get two slots. You can put a backpack, bag, box, whatever you want. The biggest one you've got probably um, in each slot, and all of the characters on that account can access those two slots. So you could essentially put an entire loadout of gear, plus maybe some gems or some uh, Spirit of Wolf potions, whatever you want, and you can stick them in there, and you don't have to mess with that little touchy business on P99 where you don't have anybody online who can help you transfer items. So you find a secluded spot and drop them on the ground like a second before you log out, and then you quickly log back in on the character who needs the stuff, and then you just hope and pray you don't have a technical issue or the game doesn't crash or somebody doesn't walk over and pick up that stuff that you set on the ground. That's totally eliminated here. Now, it's less of a priority, obviously, because it's a boxing server. You're allowed to box here. So, if you wanted to, you could always log in another character and just transfer the items. But the shared bank account is definitely a big convenience and definitely something I really support. And again, I have no issue about it. I think really if you have some really highly expensive stuff that you need to move between characters, it really does. It's been proven. It really does test the moral fiber of people when you hand somebody who maybe most likely don't know in real life to, yeah, say, here's like thousands of platinum in items. Just hold on to this until I can log in on my other character. I'm sure I can't hate to even imagine how many customer service calls and complaints they got about players getting ripped off. So the development team probably was just like, you know what, we're going to put shared bank slots in there and we're just going to eliminate it. You guys trust each other, and then you get burned, and then you call us. And I can only imagine how many changes were made just to avoid their customer service hotlines from being a full-time job that required like 50 to 100 people. But now, Shadows of Luclin, something else that was unique about this expansion was the fact that it used NVIDIA's transform and lighting engine. Now, this was a kind of a turning point in the graphics card war, because the Voodoo accelerators that were initially required for EverQuest, that brand was kind of on its way out. Now, I don't know what happened to Voodoo as a company, but the 3D graphics engine that initially was, I believe, part of the selling point of EverQuest, because it was one of the few accelerated games that was available when it launched. But anyway, Voodoo, I apparently must have made some bad business decisions at some point. I don't know what happened exactly, but NVIDIA was definitely starting to stake its claim in the video accelerator market. And at this point, I believe EverQuest 2 was in its early production stages. And from what I remember, the Transformer lighting engine, which is what powers the Luclin, all of the Luclin graphics, it was implemented. And actually, it didn't run too good on my PC. I think Pollutal ran okay, indoor dungeons or indoor zones. A few of them were okay, but I remember getting a lot of graphics lag, low frame rate issues when Luclin launched. But I know it caused controversy because the geometry was different. It purported to use curved surfaces to give the game a more organic look. But, and this was just me, but a lot of times when I looked at it, especially when I went to a new zone in Luclin the first time, the graphics just seemed a little off. I felt like Kunark was kind of the peak of what the developers did with the old engine, and Kunark, in my opinion, looked better. It may have had its issues, and it could be from the development side that engine was giving the coders some major headaches, and that's why they changed to the transformer lighting engine. But in the end, it's an older game, and it's the content that really matters. It's the players. It's not so much the graphical style and stuff. Like I'm using the new models. I'm still like, I'm not sure if I want to keep using them. In the next video, you may not see any new models, but I'm just kind of sticking it out, and it's just for the novelty factor right now, really, just to see something different. But that's all I've got for today, and I plan on continuing my Beastlord updates. It's been an interesting ride to explore a new class for an old game that I hadn't played in a really long time, at least very close to 10 years. This has been interesting. So a lot of this stuff is just basically new to me because I forgot about a lot of it. So anyway, I'm going to keep posting updates for the Beastlord's progress every time I hit a new spell level. So that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching.